Light tanks are apparently a very hard class of vehicles for wargaming to balance, because when they introduced the Sheridan missile into the game, it was the most game-breaking mechanic ever. They had to nerf the vehicle like 5 times. They also had to nerf the T-92E1 like 5 times. Then they released, which is the Vickers line, and they had to nerf the tier 10 Vickers on the armor of the turret, and they had to constantly nerf the Vickers CR, which is still, mind you not, one of the strongest tier 9s in the game. And then we have this tank introduced into the game, the T-100LT, which in update 9.1 is receiving a nerf. Yes, I am very happy that this tank is receiving a nerf. Ever since this vehicle was introduced into the game, I was right on Wargaming's tail saying that this tank should not exist in its current form. Why is that? Well, it's a number of reasons. First of all, its spotting mechanic is absolutely dumb. The fact that you can spot people for 20 seconds and be basically unharmed from where you are. Now, that is apparently not changing, but there are a couple good things that are going to be happening to the tank. First of all, its armor is apparently getting worse. Hopefully, that includes the frontal plate. This upper plate is 90 millimeters thick. That means a YAG and a 183 cannot overmatch it. What? Why can tank destroyers not overmatch a light tank's upper plate? Makes no sense whatsoever. And because it's at such a steep angle, that means if you just slightly use it on a ridgeline, that upper plate becomes a death trap of angles. As well, the turret. How many times have you bounced off this tank's turret? Or the side armor? I have a clip of multiple 183s bouncing off the side of this tank when I tested it in training room. It's just dumb. This tank's armor is not a light tank. It's a medium tank armor profile, which is even more dumb when you realize that it's got more pen on its premium because it has AP with show normalization to almost every tier 10 medium. It's got more DPM than every tier 10 medium. With Ramron, you got 3563. There's no downside to this vehicle, and it's a light tank. I mean, it's a light with armor that's ridiculously good on its camouflage. Everything's ridiculous, but there is one thing that is actually getting buffed on the tank in 9.1, and that is its terrain resistance. Now, my guess is that would be the soft terrain resistance. If you've driven this tank in water, it is incredibly slow. In fact, I would have to say that it's more slow than a lot of heavies in water. It's bad. So I can definitely see Wargaming buffing that, but apart from that, yeah, this tank's getting a DPM nerf and an armor nerf. We're going to have to see really what they're doing to it because, let's be real, when Wargaming says things, we don't actually know the statistics they're changing, so it could just be a very small change, but let's hope that the change they do indeed have is a pretty big one. It says, terrain crossing capacity gets better, HP, DPM, and hull armor gets worse. That's what Wargaming said in their own words. So here we are in our first battle. What do we have up against us? We got an E50M, a T-100LT, and that's all they got for mobility. Alright, I do have the 57 that wants to go towards medium side, and I also have 2 tier 10 mediums, one of them being a T-100. So this is kind of unfair for their team because we got 3 mobile tanks, they have 2. They do have an AMX-50B, but that's still not a light tank. I mean, I've got so much better spotting range, camouflage than that tank. It's not really the same thing. So what we're going to do very aggressively is push into this bush here. I always like to do this in a tank like the T-100 just because it gives you a great opportunity to spot any tanks that cross very early in the game, anybody that tries getting over this hill. But right now, I don't actually see anything, interestingly enough. I'm going to sit a little bit more cautiously like this in the bush, just in case somebody tries poking through B. But it doesn't... Oh, there's the grill. Alright, well, I tracked the grill. Didn't actually end up penning him. But as you can see, this is a really nice spot. I mean, now that grill's detected for 20 seconds, that guy's basically stuck there. There's the T-100LT. Alright, let's make our way into the bush, and nice. Alright, let's see. The grill's over there. Not much of my problem right now. I'm just going to capture this because this will be perfect. So, yep, the grill cannot poke for 20 seconds. Isn't that fun that that tank destroyer cannot poke that bush because of the mechanic? There he goes, and, ooh, he almost poked it. Let's take a blind fire in 3, 2, 1, boop. Oh, well, it missed. Oh, well. Alright, let's reload. We do have the 50B off to the side, and there's a bounce on his tank. Unfortunate for us. But it's all good, because now the 50B is spotted for a pretty long amount of time again, 20 seconds. So what do we have? We got the 183 all the way off. Didn't hit him either. We're missing a couple of our shells here and there, but it's all good, because once we start hitting our shots, which is our first connection right there, we should be able to get a pretty decent chunk of damage out. So that's already 600 hit points we've been able to take off of that 50B. Let's reload again. That's 900 hit points we've been able to take off of that 50B. Let's reload again. Alright, so no shots there. We did get hit by the E50M, but that's not too bad. Let's just see what we want to do here. I do know that the grill might possibly want to shoot me, so I'm going to drive away cautiously. There you go. Nice. 50B is taken out. Perfect. Our 57 Heavy was able to do his job. And then while that's going on, I want to push on this 183. We obviously know the 183 is in the corner. I don't know what my team's so scared of. I mean, we can easily just push this. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to drive right on up, and let's see if I can clear this 183. You're going to see the mobility on this tank is just stupid. Here we are, just speeding along. Hello, goodbye. I still don't think we're detected. We are not. And, yep, there's the 183. Hi, how you doing? Goodbye. I think he actually could have hit me there, but it's fine, because we still got away with what we wanted to, and now I'm going to push up onto the rear of that 57 Heavy and connect a shell into his tank. Now, our WZ-113 GFT is putting himself in a very poor situation, because either way he loses that. If he shoots, they all push on him, so yeah, that's not a great position for him. I'm going to flank behind. We're going to see if I can get some shells out from here. Oh, there's the VK-90. There's a nice tap once into his tank. Let us reload again, and let's see if I can get some more shells into their sides. There you go. Nice shot into the E50M. Reloading again. I don't know if I'll have the gun depression for this. No, I don't. And wow, that was a dumb shot, wasn't that? Alright, well, it's all fine. All we're going to do is drive away, and if this E50M tries to chase me, that's going to be his downfall, because we are so much more mobile. So here we are. Let's just see if we can poke him and get a nice pen. There you go. One nice tap. And let's see if we can get another nice tap in a moment here. There you go. And now we back up. And we do have a damaged ammo rack, but thankfully I do have a repair kit as well. Oh, that was really, really sad there. But good news is because we tracked him, the C50M is going to have a very, very hard time getting around us. And in 3, a 2, a 1, and a fire. There you go. E50M is taken out. Now, in this amount of time, we have lost a fair chunk of tanks. In fact, they have a full health grill, and the only tank that's a one-shot is the T-100LT, who I do want to clear. I do want to point that out now. I do want to clear that guy. If I want to play this smart, if that 121B clears that T-100, that would be amazing. But if I'm going to play this smart right now, I see what's going to happen, so I'm going to capture the base. That way, I can at least have a base cap advantage, hopefully clear that T-100, and then figure out what I'm going to do from there. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to plan on doing right now. So let's see if I can go find that T-100LT using speed and power. Let's go low. Nice. Okay. Let's just keep going low, and oh, there's the VK-90. Hopefully I'm not detected from that, which I'm not. Beautiful. Okay, let's just keep on going. All right, we know the T-100's at A because we know the grill went to the other side of the map. So let's head straight to A and clear that T-100 the moment we can. Here we go. Speed, go, 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 go. All right, let's take it low. Nice. Hello, T-100. How you doing there, buddy? I'm gonna speed right to you, and you are going to die. Nice. Okay, we got the clear on that guy, and now we start capturing this base. All right, beautiful. VK-90 is coming towards me, but not too much of a worry, because all we needed to do is capture this base, and his tank is slow. So there you have it. Now we've got base A captured. We're going to drive straight so we can get down without being detected, and there you have it. All right, this is a win. It's not even a worry. This is just T-100LT doing T-100LT things. So there's the VK-90. Let's get one shell into his tank. And there you have it. That's the dub. I mean, 3,500 damage, not a crazy amount, but definitely showcased where using base capture and my brain was able to do me very, very well. I would definitely say their light tank made a pretty big misplay. If that light player had stuck with his team, they could have won that a lot easier. They could have captured what was base C, and then the VK-90 or something else maybe could have gone over to the other base. The fact that that light tank basically gave away his position because I knew the grill was chasing me over towards C. I knew the VK-90 was not fast enough to get to A, and we had seen him spotted, which meant the only tank possible at A was the T-100LT. So that was a pretty big misplay from that player. That guy should have stuck with his grill. He could have easily captured base C, and the VK90 could have driven towards base A, and then the grill could have covered him. It would have been a lot better for their team, and they would have been up base cap. So that was pretty poor decision making, but oh well, it's just one. That's all. Let's see if we can keep it up in this second game. We have another T-100LT with me, and they have an Object 140. Okay, so they're not down on mediums this time. I mean, even though we were up on mediums that last battle, I would definitely say that we were not up in overall advantages, because our mediums didn't really do a crazy amount with their mobility. They kind of just stayed at the back of the map. So early on in this game, I'm going to capture base B. I feel like that's just a pretty smart thing to do. I don't do this much, but now that I think about it, I probably should. I mean, there's really no downside to not capturing this base, and if I have the mobility to, then why not? So let's get a shell into that AMX-50B. Nice. Alright, let's keep on capturing this base, and kablooey. Beautiful. Alright, so we were able to capture the base, and what that means is that the rest of our team is going to be able to capture more bases, but at the same time, I don't trust what's going on over here. I'm going to back up. We do have the 60 TP coming, which is very, very good news, so that's a bit of a plus. Let's aim it on this VK90. Let's aim in a premium shell just to make sure it connects. There you go. Nice shot, and now we reload again. Alright, so the VK90's off to the side, and I'm just going to push in and try and support this T-100LT, because at this point here, this guy's just going to get buttered. We've already gotten 2 connections into this guy right now, and yeah, this guy's just dead. I don't know what this 140's plan was, but clearly it was not a very smart one. Now all we have to do is push on to this T-100LT, which we are, I was going to go for an HE, but those tanks are really a pain to HE, so, ooh, maybe we can HE this one, though. There you go, 479 damage with that shot. HE on this vehicle is absolutely insane. Let's connect another HE, finishing off the T-100LT. There you go. We were able to do our job, get a bunch of connecting shells, and with that, we're up to 2,400 damage this quickly into the game. I mean, again, these tanks are just stupid. We just won a brawl against mediums. But we're not done, because now we get to use our 68 kilometers per hour of top speed and YOLO our tank into the front line over here and hopefully get some more damage out. So there's the E5. I'm not super worried about the E5 right now. We can get well, maybe not even a shell in. I want to clear this Emil too. That is definitely the biggest threat on my mind right now. So let's get 1 shell into the Emil. Then let's get behind him. There you go. And that's 2 shells into the Emil too. And oh my god, this poor dude. I don't think he even knows what he's doing. There's 3 shells into his tank, and we lit him on fire. And my T-100LT should be able to finish him off. There you go. Nice. Let's get a shell right into the E5's track wheel. And then we put on adrenaline. And, what are we going to do? Well, we can shoot the VK90 quite easily here. So let's get a shell into the VK90 once. And let's get a shell into the VK90 twice. And then all we got left is the E5. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how easy it is to win with the T-100LT. This was possibly one of the easiest battles I've played in a while. I mean, just look at this game. It's so dumb. The whole tank's so dumb. And, I was hoping we could get that shell out. But there you go. I mean, what? We did 5,000 damage. I bet it didn't look like that, but we did over 5,000 that game. 5,185 damage dealt. What a stupid tank. I'm so happy it's being nerfed. I hate fighting these things on the battlefield. Hopefully the nerf is going to be enough. Well, look at that. Me and the T-100 next to me did 4,000 and 5,000. Combined, we did almost 10,000 damage. It's dumb. The tank is just dumb. Anybody that is butthurt about this vehicle being nerfed, you are wrong. That's as simple as it is. Even Wargaming sees there's a problem with this vehicle, and it needs to be nerfed. So, if you think that this tank is balanced the way it currently is, get good. I got nothing else to say. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!